fucking cooking with gas. Yeah, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a show feed.
Oh, if that's what you want. Listen, there you go. You just got 90 DMs.
Fellas, if you thought Kendrick's feet were tiny, you should check mine out.
Nope, we turned it off.
Oh, no. Folks, if you think Kendrick's feet are tiny, you should check mine out.
Are people saying that?
That was like one of the Drake disses. See, you
That
know
he
what?
has small feet?
Yeah, how the fuck you big stepping with a size 7 men's on?
Oh.
Yeah, but no one remembers any of the Drake disses because they were just like, okay. You know, because I think Drake like misinterpreted what the beef was going to be because he was like, you're short and your raps aren't catchy. And then Drake's like, you're a fucking pedophile and a race traitor.
Yep.
You know? So it's kind of a mismatch sort of thing.
Well,
Do you
one
think
person
that-
went high, one person went low.
Yeah. When they go low, we go high.
That's what they say.
That's what Michelle Obama said, and the Democrats have been losing ever since.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah. I found out that my mom follows me on Instagram.
You just found that out.
Yeah, well, she has it's like a burner Instagram. It's
Your mom
got-
has a burner Instagram.
Well, it's like she's an old lady, and her obviously, and the only that'd be cool if I had a young mom.
Yeah.
Right?
My mom, 36.
Yeah, I'm 34. My mom's 36. It's actually a horrific story. Actually,
But we're very close.
I did find out about so the oldest woman to have a baby is 59.
Ever?
Yeah,
That seems young.
I know. Yeah, well, yeah, because you don't get more eggs.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you could have one put it. You're saying natural from their own egg. I feel like you could
I
be.
think it was enhanced in 59. I don't think a 60-year-old woman has ever had a baby.
But you could put an embryo in, and a 6-year-old woman could have one. No.
I don't. I think.
Call us in.
Yeah, guys, call in. I love two guys talking about women's bodies
Yeah.
on a podcast, dude. This is kind of funny. I was talking to my friend who is a doctor, right?
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. When I say a doctor, I don't mean like a medical doctor.
What kind of doctor?
Like an academic.
What did they? What field?
You know, if I was a better friend, I'd be able to answer
All right.
some of these questions.
I don't know if this person exists, Bobby.
He's
I'm gonna be honest
supposed
with
to
you.
be a smart guy.
Sure.
And I told him my dad had prostate cancer. He's better now. He's all fine.
Shout
They
out to
took
him.
out his prostate, so now when he comes, nothing comes out, which I think rules.
Is that true?
Dude, because I have a weird shaped penis, so condoms break for me all the time.
Of course.
So I've had a few close calls. Dude, lots of cool women that were like, don't worry, if something grows, I'm getting rid of it. Shout out to those ladies.
Shout out to and thanks for sleeping with Bobby.
Just
Just in general.
Can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It's charity. It should be a tax write-off, honestly.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah. I salute them when they walk out. But anyway, I was telling my buddy, this is years ago when my dad had prostate cancer. I was like, he has prostate cancer. He's probably going to be fine. Which, prostate cancer, I mean, Joe Biden's going to die from it. But if you're in your early 60s like my dad was, it's basically fine. They take out your prostate and you're okay.
But they put nothing else in. So you have no glue.
The idea that they would put a prosthetic prostate in.
Yeah.
Oh, with like fake cum.
I'm trying
So you
to,
could
you know,
still-
I'm an ideas guy. I'm not
Yeah.
like I'm not an engineer.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, that's what I would think.
That fucking rules. Dude.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know. I think like, because honestly, so sometimes I don't know if this happens to a lot of guys, but I'll wake up in the middle of the night and feel like uncontrollably horny. The type of horny where I masturbate with no visual aid, like it's like 2002, right?
Do you think that was everyone in 2002 or just because of your age?
I don't know. I think it blows my mind because I'm old enough to remember. I'm in my mid-30s, an elder millennial, some would say. So I've gone to video rental stores where there was a curtain and men would walk in and out of that curtain.
Yes.
And that's fucking crazy to me.
You would go to an independent video store?
Yeah, because I'm from a small town, about 3,000 people, so we didn't have like a Blockbuster. We didn't have a grocery store.
You didn't. Oh wow.
Isn't that fucked up?
Where'd you shop?
Fucking the next town over, or sometimes you do a good old-fashioned, you'll appreciate this, maybe a CVS grocery run.
Wait.
You know what I mean?
Hold the phone.
They got Hot Pockets there.
That's another level of trash I've never even heard of, Bobby. You would do your grocery shopping at CVS?
And we've come full circle because as an adult man who lives in a food desert, I do most of my shopping at a bodega. Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a different yeah, that's pretty trash too.
Yep.
But you won't buy produce at CVS.
Do they have produce at CVS?
I'm the one. I'm new to this CVS grocery
I
world.
do know that I buy produce from my bodega now, and I'm losing money for sure.
How are
like
they doing
$4 and change for a bag of carrots. But I'm not fucking walking 15 minutes to the
You
grocery
doing raw
store.
carrots?
Yeah, I
pretty
raw
good.
dog the carrots, yeah.
It's pretty good.
I got carrots and broccoli in my bag if you want to share later.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How would you walk around with that?
It's funny. I could go about 12 hours,
Got
and
it.
then after that, it starts to...
Cut,
the
yeah.
heat...
That's what I was trying to get at.
the
here.
heat does... So the
It
thing
welts
is,
it.
you bite into a carrot, and it's like soggy, and it's not going to make you sick, but it's not enjoyable.
You're eating carrots just out of a bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, dude, like, you know how it is, comedy-wise. Like,
Yes.
I wake up in the morning, I'll have a protein shake and peanut butter sandwich. I'll have my protein shake and peanut butter sandwich throughout the day while I do my little email job. And then at nighttime, I'm going to eat halal food at some point.
Okay.
And I
That's
throw
because you're a
banana in
practicing
there.
Muslim?
I am. Ishna Allah.
Okay.
I don't know if I said that correctly. Dude. Shout out to Muslims, though. I mean, some of
Shout
you
out.
have to calm down, but if, you know.
I'm going to edit none of this, but we're definitely not going to be monetized. With the things
Hold
we've
on,
said
that's
so
not
far.
hate speech to say some of you have to calm
No,
down.
but there's a lot of things we've said so far that... And then add this on top?
Oh, the prostate thing. I'm sorry. So, my dad had prostate
Okay,
cancer.
we're back.
I talked to my very smart, very rich friend, and I was like, dude, my dad's got prostate cancer. I'm worried. Like, I have to talk to my doctor, see if there's a chance I'm going to get it. And he goes, well, has your mom ever had it? And I was like, prostate. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, where the semen is made. And he was like, oh. Isn't that crazy? You could just have gaps in your knowledge.
Yeah, I'm very curious what this man studies. Because PhD, I don't trust PhDs.
Oh, yeah.
Is
Joe
he
Biden
like a
has one.
science PhD?
Yeah, it is some sort of science thing. Yeah. I mean, it's probably something bullshit like exercise science, but that's your
Have
thing,
to call
right?
anyone out.
Yeah.
Not anyone here that might have a master's in it. No,
a
it's
master's.
horseshit.
How do you feel about Dr. Mike? He's the new guy.
The new guy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you know about Dr. Mike?
No, I get a lot of pseudoscience people on my timeline, but I haven't
he's
come across
pretty,
Dr.
He's
Mike.
pretty good. So you got to be careful. There's
Is he the bald guy? Bald
yes.
Jack guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him.
There's two different Dr. Mikes because they're both Jews that escaped the Soviet Union as babies. So they have that in common. And they both have doctorates. So one's a medical doctor and one's an exercise scientist doctor.
Okay, not
And
real.
The former is a gay guy who is really handsome, and he was giving not medical advice, but medical advice during COVID.
Okay.
And everyone was like horny and scared. So they were like, we love this Chad gay doctor.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then Dr. Mike Isertel, I like him because he's an objectively weird looking person, and he has like a weird sense of humor.
Yeah, he looks like a bulldog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the guy.
And dude, he's the reason I'll never do steroids.
Good.
Because I'm like most men, where every few months I go on Google incognito mode and I find out, try to learn about steroids.
Right, who do you think's watching?
Huh?
Who do you think's watching? Why'd you go to incognito mode?
Oh, it's funny. I got into a very serious argument with my friends. No, but apparently I'm the only one in this group of guys I was talking with that when I'm watching adult cinema, I will go incognito mode. And they're like, why? It's your phone. I'm like, yeah, but eventually I'm going to be in public with my phone, or someone's going to borrow my phone, or I'm going to have to get my phone fixed. You know what I mean? I don't want
Right.
I don't want those porn cookies everywhere.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not looking up anything crazy. I mean,
How many people are going going on your Google Chrome on your phone?
Dude, I don't know.
You're lending your phone out all the time? Do you lend out?
What do
You someone's like, oh, I need to look this thing up. You hand over your phone and you're giving it to them?
Oh, I mean, maybe. I
Huh.
would give my phone to anybody who I knew. If I had the relationship I have with you or better with someone, I'm giving them my phone.
That's very nice. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I let you know you're on the lowest tier of. If I
But
knew
that's still
you a
pretty high up.
little bit less,
To give me your phone to
Yeah.
just Google something that's not necessary.
I'm pretty sure we have enough mutual friends where if you ran away with my phone,
It would,
it would get out.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know if I would call the police. I think I would be like, I'd look at my mutual. Well, first of all, how do I look at my mutuals? I have to run home,
You'd have to get a
pull out my
laptop.
desktop.
You have to ask someone else for their phone. This just becomes a cycle.
Dude, it's so comfy in here.
Thank you.
And I appreciate they have the AC on. I have a living arrangement where, if I'm not in the apartment, the AC's not on. My roommates are save money guys, and
Yeah.
I have, to be clear, almost no money. but I'm not going to be sitting in a hot house.
This is what because you came in here. You came in hot.
I came in hot, dude.
About the living situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so both of your roommates, who I assume are about our age,
I don't want to get too into it. When is this going out?
Monday.
Monday. We can't get into it.
We can't get.
You're gonna have to have me back.
Okay.
Spoiler, or what is not a fucking spoiler?
Maybe I don't know.
I'm retarded, dude.
It could be a spoiler.
Oh, a cliffhanger. That's what I wanted. I actually.
No, the spoiler's in your bag.
Ooh.
The carrots.
Yeah, I hope my new roommates will let me get a gun.
So you're not gonna live with these people?
No, I'm living with new people.
Okay.
I found a comic, and I did a really good job, I think, because I found this comic that's looking for a place, and he has a roommate. And so
okay, this is nice.
He's normal, and I was like, "Tell me about your roommate. Is he clean? Is he quiet?" And he's like, "Oh, brother, he is both of those things."
Fantastic.
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
So three of you sticking around Brooklyn.
Yeah, I got a GF. She lives in Brooklyn.
You're a GF!
I got a GF.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we've been dating about a year.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, so I want to stay close.
Okay.
You know?
Yes.
I don't want to have to wake up in the morning, say goodbye, and then get on a goddamn train.
Because she lives around your neck of the woods?
She is a 15-minute walk from me.
It's fantastic.
15-minute walk is nothing. I know I just said I won't walk 15 minutes to the grocery store, but my girlfriend is more important than groceries.
Right.
Oh, what a simp I sound like, right?
Clip it.
Yeah. Yeah. She sent me a TikTok right before I came here.
Okay.
It was cute. She was like, "This is us," and it was like an old couple, like arguing.
Okay.
But she has this is how much she loves me, is that she will find a TikTok. No, I don't have TikTok because it's like a Chinese psyop. That's
right. You're an American. You're
Yeah.
an American boy.
Dude, that's the thing, is there's certain things that it makes you sound like a fucking MAGA rah-rah alt-right swoopy haircut like the one you have.
Right.
But literally TikTok is like designed to collapse Western civilization.
Yeah, but it's amazing.
It is fun.
It's so much fun.
The Chinese TikTok apparently is like, and I know, again, this is going to sound like I'm doing one of my little bits, but it's literally like math equations to make the children better scientists.
Well, that's an option on TikTok.
Oh, and it's just none of us
you can just swipe 3 to the left, and
Yeah.
it's there.
Uh-huh.
And none of us look at it.
Yeah.
Even though most of my algorithm is fake history. Well, it's like people saying history
Uh-huh.
that I assume. I don't know how real this is.
You gotta. I've been doing this recently. Is I'll go on Wikipedia to read about something,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll do what almost nobody does, which is I look at the footnotes,
Okay.
like not the footnotes, the citations.
Of course.
Right. And apparently Wikipedia is supposed to be really good with that, but I want to say at least 25% of the time, either the link doesn't work, or I look for the information that they're referencing and it's not there. Like I read an article that's like interesting. Like I'll read about the color blue and they're like, blue was created in 1876 or whatever.
Yep.
And then I'll go to the actual article and it will talk a lot about like purple. And then it won't talk about blue at all. And I'm like, I don't think anybody's checking this. You know what I mean?
Right. So what are you advocating for here?
Just that it's impossible to really know any information ever.
I don't know. TikTok. I just say things with confidence, and I hope no one checks it.
You know what bothers me? And
Fill me in.
This is gonna.
We got time.
Thanks, man. That'd be funny if you were like, actually,
I'm not interested.
we have a strict schedule, and I don't care what you just thought of. There's this, because I hear people on the subway now. It used to be, by the way,
You're in the subway, no headphones.
That's not what I do. And that
Okay.
used to be, if someone did that, they were probably very mentally ill.
Yes.
And now they're just under 40. That's the only demographic I'm going to get into in terms of who does that. But because we're trying to monetize this.
Well, it's too late, Bob.
Yeah, it's too late.
We'll wait for the Patreon to say any more.
Yeah. But, dude, the people be watching TikTok things, and the voice at which they talk,
It's crazy.
I'm like, it's for stupid. It's by stupid people for stupid people.
You ever wonder you'll like be in a tunnel for a long time on the subway and people are still watching TikTok?
Crazy.
And you're like, how do you have the service?
Yeah.
I pay so much for this phone.
Dude, and the watching stuff for 59 seconds at a time cannot be good for your brain.
Yeah, but so fun.
I don't know. Okay, this is gonna. By the way, don't forget, fellas, I showed you my feet. So if I come across sanctimonious right now,
good
please
word.
remember I showed you my feet. Why not read a book on the subway?
Hate a book on the subway. Hate a book in general.
Okay.
Because I was raised in a household where reading's gay.
Okay.
So even though I know that's not right, instinctually I still see someone on the subway and I go, are you serious, dude? Saw it today. You know what I saw today, Bob? I saw a guy reading a Kindle, and it was slowly moving up.
Oh, he wasn't controlling it himself?
Wasn't controlling it himself. I
Huh.
was like, how are you timing that?
That would stress me out.
It was stressing me out watching him read.
I've used teleprompters before. I can't
On the
do it.
subway?
Yeah.
It's a
Ladies
lot
and
of setup.
gentlemen, I am homeless. I'm down on my luck. I'm just reading
You
the
have a
screen.
controller you're trying?
They're like, I don't know. That looks pretty expensive. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. The homeless on the subway are hilarious. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but it's like
I don't encounter much.
well, you live. What is this? The upper. What side is this?
This is the east side.
Okay, I know. I literally came here. That's
Yeah,
how
I
fucking
know.
stupid I am.
I gave you
but-
the address.
Yeah. No, but dude, this is so nice.
This area?
Yeah.
It's nice. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
Fill me in.
I'm gonna make more money.
Okay.
And then I'm not gonna live around awful people anymore.
Are you? Because I did your podcast.
Uh-huh.
Are you in that area?
That's kind of the area. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Puerto
that's-
Rican Day Parade was the other day. That was unpleasant.
oh, that's a. Oh yeah, you stood out.
I mean, I wasn't quite a woman in the year 2000, but it was still bad. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, can you guys? And I work from home. That's the main thing. Is I do my little email job from home,
Okay.
and I don't really, I don't give the job my 100% cognitive ability just because there's either children upstairs, music across the street.
Birds in the apartment.
Birds in the apartment. I work on Sunday. God bless these African people doing their African church. I'm like, good for them.
You worked on Sunday?
I do. I work on Sunday. Do you want to hear something infuriating?
Sure.
I told my dad this, and he was mad on behalf of the people I bother. But I do what I like to call sales, but what other people would call telemarketing.
Okay.
And they need someone to work on Sunday. And because I'm a comedian, weekends mean nothing to me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I work on Sunday. And then I get all this flexibility because I work on Sunday. But sometimes I'll call a person on Sunday, and they'll be so fucking mad at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like, I've lost all like sense of empathy, so it just makes me laugh. Like a guy told me to shove my head up my ass, and pretty proud of myself. Without missing a beat, I said I've been taking yoga, and he actually didn't think that was funny at all. He just hung up the phone.
Do you think anyone's ever had to come back to him with that? Because that's not his first time saying that.
No, you're right. Yeah. Dude, honestly, I think if you're a millennial or a Gen X, you have like your head on your shoulders. I feel bad for Zoomers and Boomers. Because Zoomers, they don't know that they don't have to look at their cell phone at all times.
Right.
And Boomers don't know that if you get a call from a number you don't recognize, you just don't answer.
You don't have to pick it up.
And then if they don't leave a voicemail, you block immediately.
Yes.
And then you don't have to think about it ever again. But I call people, and they're like, I can't talk right now. And I'm like, my brother in Christ, why would you answer the phone then?
Right.
Crazy.
Or like, how'd you get my number? Because I get it.
Yeah.
Being in sales. How'd you get my number?
Yeah.
It's public information at this point, dude.
Yes. That's the other thing. Boomers are like, how do you know that that's my name? I'm like, dude, if I have your name and what state you live in, I'll know fucking your mom's name, your dad's name.
I can find everything
Your
out.
children's name. Like, sorry, that's just the world we live in now. You know, I don't know what you want me to do. That's what I say to them on the
That's
phone.
what you say to them?
Yeah.
I once cold called a guy, ended up getting his dad.
Ooh.
His dad gives me his number.
That's crazy.
That's the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah.
He's like, you want his number? I was like, yeah, you're going to give it to me, you fucking idiot? Sure.
That's wild.
Ended up being the guy.
Damn.
Told me to go fuck myself. But what would you know? But it's crazy that his dad did that.
I think the worst phone call I ever had to make it work is I worked at this law office, and our only clients were banks.
Okay.
We did what was called foreclosure prosecution. It was my first
You're the original ICE.
Pretty much, dude. Yeah, well, actually, it was all people in like Central Jersey, so white trash Central. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, what's that version of ice? They're just doing ice.
I would base
Bud ice. No, natty ice. That's what I was looking for.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
We're natty ice. Fucking come on, mullet head. You can't afford your $1,000 a month mortgage. Let's go. But it was uncomfortable, dude, because we would have to. So the company I work for, our job was to get people out of the house, right?
Yes.
And but my job specifically, I worked in what was called title curative. So if you have any liens on your house, the new person that's buying the house would like those liens not to be there, right?
Yes.
So I make sure that all the liens are gone.
I'm gonna ask. I'm not that familiar with real estate. What's a lien?
So basically, it's if you buy something,
Okay.
and you can't pay it back,
Okay.
and it's not something tangible, like if you buy this table.
Right.
I don't know why you're buying tables in installments. Hopefully, it never gets that bad.
Shout out to Klarna.
Yeah. If you don't pay them back, they'll take the table away.
Yes.
But it's something intangible, like I don't know, some sort of payday loan or something.
Okay.
And you don't pay it back, they're like, we're just gonna put a lien on your house, and that means like the bank is mad at you because now they owe money for what you did.
So it's like points on a license.
Kind of, yeah. That's a good way to. If I was smarter, I would be able to. That you really process things really well.
I
I
appreciate
just
it.
explained this to you, and you're like, I have a better way to explain it.
It's how my brain thinks of it.
But dude, I had to call this guy one time, and be like, "Hey, are you still the owner of the house? And if so, are these liens yours?" And the thing about that is, you have to make a good faith effort, but they all hang up the phone. These are people that are like, their lives are a mess. They have debt collectors calling at all times.
Crazy that they pick up.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Most of them don't. But this guy picked up, and I was like, "Are you John Smith?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I'm calling about the property at 123 Main Street." And he's like, "Oh, so that's John Smith Jr., my idiot son. I bet he owes you money too." And I was like, "This is the worst day of my life." All like, as in also.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But like, what?
Yeah. I didn't. I was.
How much do you owe me?
I know. Yeah. I can't imagine being so. I don't have children, right? Ishna Allah.
Well, we heard earlier.
I know, dude. You know what the thing is my penis, it bends up, right? And so if I get hard, and I stand up, and I bend down at like a 45-degree angle, it'll be like in my belly button.
Really?
Right? And that's how you guys know that my belly button is a very respectable 5 1/4 inch away from the base of my penis. It's only one standard deviation below the mean and nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
Yeah.
And it's not it's an innie.
Yeah. Yeah. And my belly button is an innie. That's
Okay.
true. It's not at all important.
It's just to paint a visual.
So I think that every time it's happened to me, oh, wait, no, that's not true. It's happened to me 3 times. 2 times it was doggy style. 1 time the girl was on top, right?
Okay.
And I'm talking about every time that I've come and then I pulled my penis out and the condom is completely broken and I came inside her, which is terrible.
Yeah, because you said earlier the condom breaks.
Yeah.
Because you're so vertical?
I think that has something to do with it. Also, I'm just having a nice time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
and
just going.
I'll never buy ultra thin condoms ever again. I'm
What
not
happened? The way you said that makes it sound like they killed your family.
Dude, well, they almost made me start one. That's
Hey.
crazy.
Come on.
It was wild because with one of the girls, she's like, "I'm on birth control,"
Shout out.
and I was like, "Oh, okay," but you're like, "Does she take it at the right time every day?"
Right.
You know,
Making sure this is recording. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious if it's not.
No, we're good. We've been recording.
Dude, if I were you, I would have checked like 3 times, and that's not a criticism of you. That's a criticism of me.
No.
But and then another time, she's like, "I don't take birth control, but like, I'll take the Plan B," and I was like, "Okay, very good."
Same girl?
No, these are 3 different women. So
Not bad.
I know with someone that looks like Mark Zuckerberg, it's actually pretty impressive.
You're pretty good.
But she's
the
like,
arms. So you get them.
she's like, I'll take Plan B, And of course, if it doesn't work, I'll just get an abortion. I was like, that is such a cool string of sentences for you to say.
Yeah, who is this girl? What's her number?
And then the third girl, I was like, oopsie daisy. That was what, like, I'm like, I will fucking never, like, with a new person, I will never come inside them again. Like, meaning where even if I'm wearing a condom, because they're just prone to breaking. I don't think I'm putting them on wrong. I do think it's my weird shaped penis.
But is it the shape as much as it is the functionality?
I don't know.
But it sounds like the shape's fine.
The third girl was like, "I'll take Plan B, but I don't know how I feel about abortion." And that was the worst couple of weeks of my life.
Ooh boy.
I know, dude. I'm like, I am fucking a stand-up comedian. I make several $1,000s a year.
Not the brag.
I cannot afford. Ugh, dude. And that's actually that spawned the new thing that I was doing, where if I was with somebody new, I was wearing a condom, I would like pull out and then come. And a lot of women are like, that's very responsible. But there was one woman and she was like, do you not trust me? And I was like, no, it's just like, why not be extra careful?
Right.
Yeah. And she's like, well, what's the worst that can happen? And I was like, it breaks. And then like whatever comes next is totally up to you, as it should be. But you got to understand how that would make me feel, right? And she goes, you don't think you'd be a good dad? And I was like, okay, now I'm definitely...
Like, how do we end up here? Just got meta all of a sudden.
I know, dude. It's like,
that no. Brooklyn girl?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
That was that's crazy, because I would like to think that there's nobody out there that would like, if you're an I love Jesus person and it's murder or whatever, like that's fucking stupid, but I get it.
Right.
But if you're just like, might as well, I'm like, no.
How old?
Not might as well. Younger than me, but not that much younger.
So she's, it's kind of a 2-minute drill for her.
Yeah, maybe.
Dude,
no way. A redheaded child? Come on. Gross.
Listen, you said it.
No way. I don't know. I would maybe buy a Chinese one, but I think it's mean. Listen, eugenics is wrong, but self-eugenics is admirable.
Self-eugenics?
Self-eugenics. Listen, I am a healthy 5'6". I have bright orange hair. I have a giant forehead. I have narrow shoulders. I'm not doing that.
Good arms, though.
Good. You're not wrong. I have great arm genetics and cute little feet, if I may say so myself.
Shout out to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's why you got to find like a broad-shouldered, smaller forehead woman. You got to find like some sort of gymnast.
I think genetic engineering is the thing of the future. I think there's going to be a few years where we're all like, is this wrong? And then like rich people are going to start.
We're already there.
Yeah.
We're already there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, like, here's the thing. Eugenics is wrong in that I would love if someone just comes to this part. That would be
like, let me get 27 minutes into this episode.
The thing about, okay, if you conceive of eugenics as being a thing that the government telling people who can and cannot have children, that is wrong, of course, right?
Okay.
But, like, we all kind of make that calculation, like, here's what my child would look like. You know what I mean? And I think it's a very admirable thing to be like, like, I think I'm as happy as I could be in my circumstances.
Okay.
But yikes, I don't know if I would like to, like, let's do part 2 of this, which might be what me having a son. I think maybe.
What's part 2 of it, though? What does that mean?
Just like a tiny redhead with, like, narrow shoulders and a very respectable 5 1/4 penis. You know what I mean?
That points up.
That points up. I don't know. I've heard that that's good. I heard some women like that it points up, but I think that I'm,
It's gotta hurt though, no?
I think it depends, because vaginas are different.
Because what happens if you're sitting there, you're hanging out? Like what happened in high school? Mm-hmm. You're just sitting there, all of a sudden, it wakes up. Mm-hmm. They just like come up like through the pants.
I only realized that this was odd when I lost my virginity. Yeah, she like texted me afterwards. She's like, "Can I ask a kind of a weird question?"
She texted you?
Yeah, she's like, "Can I ask a weird question?"
Because you're at the age where a text.
Yeah.
What kind of phone did you have?
I don't know. I think it was a smartphone by then.
Really?
Yeah, it was like 2010. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a late bloomer.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't come the first time. Yeah, I was too nervous.
Okay.
I was so ready to. In my bed.
Oh, your house.
Yeah, my parents weren't home.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was so ready to like come right away. I like told myself, I'm like, you are gonna come right away and it's fine. And then the opposite happened.
You never did.
Yeah.
You didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah, and I was, and this is like a dumb, like, you know, I was 20, right?
Okay.
So, basically a teenager.
Yeah.
Right. And this is like such a teenage way to feel, but I didn't come, so I was like, is my virginity not lost? Which is like, who can, like what, like a census person is gonna come by?
I think that's more of a religious question than it is a physiological question.
I want to know if I'm going to hell or not.
Yeah. Does
like,
this count?
Yeah, it's like soaking.
20 years old at home. Summer break?
Yeah. So I lost my virginity between my sophomore and junior year of college.
Sophomore and junior year of
Yeah.
college. Okay.
Yeah, because I
Were you working at a supermarket during this time?
yes.
I had a feeling.
Oh, you just remember biographical information about me. I'm like, how are the two things
No,
related?
it's just an instinct I had. I just saw
Oh,
you in
really?
2010.
Oh, okay.
I just saw you in back of a deli counter.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to not really
You were a
have
bakery guy. Were you a bakery guy?
no dairy.
Really?
Yeah, and once a day I'd have to clean up someone who dropped milk, and then someone else would come up and say, no use crying over it, and I would fucking give them the middle finger. Just kidding.
And that's how you got into comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's good. Can I use that?
I gotta think of something better than this.
That was my era when I would like wore skinny jeans for a little while, and then someone misgendered me, and I was like, never again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's funny. Did you have Vans on?
Yeah. Skinny
Yeah.
jeans, Vans, flannel shirt.
Yep. It is all check it. Earring?
Yes, I had. Listen to this:
Fill me in.
an earring on each ear and an eyebrow ring.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought you had on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that cool?
This is fantastic.
Yeah, it was. I was figuring.
And you
a lot
lost your
of stuff
virginity
out.
at 20?
Yeah, very close to 21. My birthday is in August. I lost it in June. Yeah.
Buzzer beater.
What's that?
Buzzer beater.
I know, right? Because you go through certain milestones, and now as an adult, I'm like, it literally doesn't matter. Like, it was always going to be fine.
It kind of matters.
But it's something you're anxious about, right?
It's something your age is about. Where'd you go to college?
SUNY Plattsburgh, a.k.a. SUNY Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was just here. Well, here's what happened is because I knew her from like she lived in the next town over, and we would go like punk rock shows together.
Of
right?
course.
So she knew of me, and then like she saw me. I probably senior year of college. I'm sorry, senior year of high school.
Right.
And then sophomore year of college, and in the interim, I started lifting weights. Right? Because here's what happened. I knew in high school, I was like, I'm not a lose your virginity in high school kind of guy. That's just not who I am.
It's good to know who you are early.
I had like, I feel for guys that just do not know where they are in the sexual marketplace. You know, I knew.
Or
And
some
not
of the unrealistic expectations.
exactly. And it's not a low self-esteem thing. It's a realistic self-esteem.
We're trying to
thing.
get ahead of things.
Yeah, exactly.
By being realistic.
So I was like, but freshman year of college, everyone has sex. And then, you know, I figured out that that's not real. That's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
Right? Even though I had my skinny jeans and my flannel and my earrings, none of that
There's very few
mattered.
punk rock shows in Plattsburgh.
I know.
Yep.
I honestly, yeah, in hindsight, if I went to a CUNY school and like went to the Market Hotel in Brooklyn, I probably could have fucked like, well, I don't know if non-binary people existed yet, but I could have fucked I'm going to say it, a non-binary woman. Yikes, dude.
You could have made like an extra in Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just like,
That's right up your alley. You would have crushed in Williamsburg in 2009.
I
You would
think
have
so.
crushed.
It's interesting. Yeah, I sophomore year, I was like, there might be something to lifting weights, and then almost immediately I was like, oh, okay, some people are looking at me. That's the thing is like I think there's this overemphasis on like, well, we didn't use this language back then, but like Riz or something, and it's like, no, women are sexual beings more or less in the way that we are. Like, they like, you know, if you're a man, you know, tall, broad shoulders, muscular, and the first two are things you can't work on, but the third thing is something you can work on.
Right.
And dude, the newbie gains. God bless me though. I didn't know newbie gains. I thought I was gonna that's the level in which I was gonna gain muscle.
Up.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been so nice, huh? I've been I don't think I've had a PR in literal years.
Whatevs.
Yeah.
You look great.
Yeah. It is interesting. You get used to shit, right? Like I've been reading about the hedonic treadmill, which is just the idea of you have a baseline happiness and you'll always return to it. There was a study that they did.
Hedonic? What's it called?
So hedonism, or to be hedonistic, the hedonic treadmill.
I never heard of this.
It's so basically, you have a baseline of happiness, and you don't really go too high or below what it is. So they did the study one time, and it was basically they took. Obviously, they had a control, and then they had people who recently won the lottery, a life-changing amount of money in the lottery.
Got it.
And then people that were recently disabled from an accident in a life-changing way, right? So the first group being that's a pretty great thing to happen, and the second group, that's a pretty shitty thing to have happen.
Right.
And the thing about the lottery winners is they're real happy, and then within a few years they return to how happy they were. And then the thing about the suddenly disabled people is that they were real sad, and then in a few years they returned to how happy they were. Okay. So this is fucking kind of depressing in a way because it's basically you don't have much control over it, but it's equal parts nature and nurture. But by the time you're an adolescent, that's what it is. Your level of neuroticism, contentedness, extroversion, it's just there.
No, I thought of when you said that.
So don't go to therapy is what I'm saying.
Don't go to therapy. This might be because I'm as a retired scientist. Mm-hmm. I'm just seeing the people pitch this study to the newly disabled people. Mm-hmm. They're like, yeah, so something we're going to ask you.
Okay.
You can't play the lottery. They're like, what? They're like, yeah, we just can't have you play the lottery. They're like, well, I thought something so bad happened. I might as well. And they're like, yeah, I know why you think that. You can't.
Now, would I forego the use of my legs to never have to work again? That's a question. I fucking hate work.
Would you rather not have the ability to use your legs or your arms?
Ooh, I feel like arms is pretty shitty.
Yeah, but legs. I can't get around places.
Oh, that's a good point. But, I mean... I feel like it's better. This might sound wild. I'm sure if someone's disabled, they're screaming at us right now. But if you're going to have a disability, wouldn't you rather have the one that's the most popular? I see people in wheelchairs all the time. That means
Do you?
I mean, in New York, probably once a day. If I'm on the subway.
Including scooters and things like that. I feel like I never see a wheelchair.
Really?
You don't see wheelchairs
They don't
anymore.
let them in the Upper West Side. Yeah.
East Side, but yeah. Upper West Side, I don't think so either.
I don't know. I love that I never know where I am. It's so fucking stupid.
It's a bit concerning.
Yeah.
You don't see anyone pushing a wheelchair anymore.
I feel like I see it quite often.
I see scooters.
Okay, what I do see, I see people in wheelchairs more often than I see people maybe I don't notice people when they can't use their arm. But I've never seen someone with two working arms doing shit with their mouth or their toes.
I tried to work
how it would work.
Tried to work on a bit like this. It never worked out. I had a buddy who was dating a paraplegic.
Uh-huh.
And before we met her, he said, yeah, she's a paraplegic. We go, okay. He goes, so she can't use her legs. And we said, yeah. We get that. He's like, well, I didn't want you to think maybe she can't use her arms. And he was 100%
That's a
serious. No, it could be a paraplegic. She could use her legs and not her arms.
Oh.
But you've never met someone when they were described as a paraplegic, and you go to shake their hand and they just stand there. You're like, what the fuck is? They're like, no, it's the arms I can't use. You're like, oh, I'm so sorry.
I had a conversation with my friends the other day.
Fill me in.
And some of my friends, they're single guys, right? And they were talking about deal breakers and stuff, and they're talking about physical deal breakers.
Okay.
Right? And one guy goes, probably wheelchair. And it blew my mind.
Well, you could talk to my buddy Ryan, who broke up with the girl eventually. Beautiful girl, happened to be in a wheelchair.
Was that why he broke up with her?
He's like, I didn't realize how much work it is.
It's a lot of work. Because to me, the way they were saying it, it's sexually unattractive. And to me, a disability is not unattractive.
I see some hot people in wheelchairs.
Yeah. If she's got a colostomy bag, that's probably too much for me.
I didn't ask about the colostomy bag, but that is a thought I had.
Yeah. But I think just like, wait, how is a lot of work? Don't you just call ahead, be like, is it wheelchair accessible?
No, just like daily routine. Just like get her out of bed, put her into the chair, help her shower. Just a lot of like picking up and down out of the bed was a big thing for him.
Huh. Maybe he just has to fucking work out some.
That was also something that was brought into the conversation. I don't think he appreciated it too much.
Dude, that's hilarious. He's like, I can't pick you up every day. And she's like, you fucking pussy.
You bitch.
Yeah, come on.
Man. But no, I was... wait, what are the other red flags? Now I'm very curious.
I mean, like...
That stood out. Like, obviously, there's some obvious ones.
I mean, weight is one, of course.
Yes, of course.
I think that's the only real physical thing. I think guys can be like tits guys or ass guys, but if you present them with an awesome chick with like small titties or a small ass, they don't care at all.
You can have one or the other.
Yeah, you gotta have one or the other.
Or you could have short both.
Unless...
Long legs.
By the way, we're coming into territory where two guys that look like you and me are talking about women's bodies. I'm sure that is going to produce comments.
That's how
below.
we started the episode,
Yeah.
Bob.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
I call this a full circle.
No, I think there's a... I mean, you work... It's the serenity prayer with attraction, right? Because people of both genders get real hung up about, like, the things they can't change. And it's just like, work on the things you can change, right?
That's it.
That's the serenity prayer. It's grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the ability to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I might have fucked that up.
Sure.
I also secularized it a little bit. But, yeah, because it's like, why would you ruminate about something you can't change?
That's it.
You know? Would I like to be tall and have regular hair and skin? Yeah, but it's not in the cards for me.
It's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too late.
And I'm certainly not going to go to India and break both my shins. I'm not going to do it. I'm not, because first of all,
get the length.
Yeah.
The surgery.
Because they haven't perfected it yet. It costs a lot of money. It's very painful. You only get 2 or 3 inches. And, you know.
You got good head of hair.
I know that. Well, I do got a little bit of a, but what I have here, I mean, it's not a Norwell 1. You could say that.
A Norwell 1?
That's like the scale of hair loss.
You know the scale? Okay.
Yeah.
A Norwell?
Yeah, I don't know what Norwell is, but that's what they call it. So 1 is like that. I have what's called a 2, which is like the little bit on the sides.
That's fine.
But I think I'll be okay because this has been this way since I was 15.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of pictures when I'm like 12, 13, 14, so I can't figure out exactly when it happened. But there's a picture of me when I'm 15 and I have the same hairline I do now. And there's a picture of me when I'm like 10 and I have like a straight one. A Norwell 1, if you will.
A Norwell 1, of course.
So I think puberty made it recede a little bit.
Higher testosterone. Because that's what drives it, right?
Whenever I try to figure something out, I read about 2 sentences of it, and I don't understand it at all.
Oh, what's it? It's Wikipedia, the color blue.
So there's different types of testosterone, and too much of one can cause you to lose hair, and too much of another can cause you to not lose hair. I don't know. I read the Wikipedia article, which, again, we have no idea if it's accurate.
Right. And
I was like, I don't know. But I will say the only maternal uncle I have.
Okay.
I have a half maternal uncle.
Okay.
So I don't know. He has a full head of hair and he's like 80 something. But my full maternal uncle is he's got a full head of hair in the back, but he has like a LeBron level. Or you know what's a perfect example? Sting. If you Google Sting right now, that's like
look him up.
That's the most like receded hairline you could see on a person.
What's that on the scale?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably the last one. But I think he's got a full head on. I think the worst one is when it recedes and also you lose.
From the other side?
My thing is, dude, if it's even a little bit like a hairline like mine, fine. If it's any worse than mine, shave it off and possibly do steroids. Like a little bit.
Okay.
Not so much that you're gonna your heart's gonna get so big and you die in your 50s, but you do have to make up for it.
Or grow a beard.
Yeah, dude, I can't grow a beard.
I can't grow a beard.
You have nice stubble.
I appreciate
This
it.
is the
Thank
gayest
you.
fucking podcast that's ever existed.
Damn right, dude. Shout out to him.
Yeah, I have nice stubble too, but if it grows in any more than that, it has like a puby quality to it. You know what I mean?
But can you grow a full? Do you have the full? I don't have it on the face. I can't grow a beard.
So, I think again, like a few days stubble looks nice. When it starts to actually look like hair, like that's on the top of my head, it has a pube quality to it,
Okay.
and also my mustache doesn't connect to the rest of my beard.
There it is.
And I get what I call the anti-Hitler, which means like
Doesn't grow in the middle.
It doesn't grow in the middle, right?
You're tolerant as hell, dude.
One of yeah, that's how opposite of Hitler I am. But you know, some podcasters seem to think he's a misunderstood fellow, so it's kind of interesting territory we've.
Let's dive into
found
that on the
ourselves in.
Patreon.
Oh, so is there a Patreon after this?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
We're about to do it right now.
Ooh.
Made us over there.